As simulation becomes increasingly important in corporate settings, it is valuable to save inputs to simulations and results from simulations for later use or exploration. At-Risk allows you to do this with its library tools. An at-risk library is a SQL Server database, and it can hold corporate input distributions and simulation results. Of course, this requires a SQL Server account. If you don't already have an account, you can download a free version of SQL Server Express when you install At-Risk. The simple simulation model you see here, adapted from one of the At-Risk example files, can be used to illustrate the At-Risk library tools. It contains 3 input distributions and a single output. 3 inputs and 1 output. You can imagine that these input distributions are the result of much research and many expert opinions, and they might be reusable at later times in similar simulation models. Therefore, it makes sense to store them in a database. This is exactly what the library allows you to do. To add an input distribution to the library, you select one of the input cells and click the Define Distributions button on the At-Risk ribbon to get the usual window shown here. You can edit the information in this window, such as the name, as you like. Eventually, you should click this Book button, the Add Input to Library button. At-Risk shows this prompt, so you should click OK. Then it opens the At-Risk Library window shown here, displaying the input that is about to be added. As you can see, there is also a Revisions tab, so that you can store information about revisions to distributions as well. Again, you should click OK. There is the addition to the library. You can add as many input distributions as you want in this way. I will add 2 more. Then when you select Show At-Risk Library from the Library dropdown, you will see the following list of all distributions in the library. There they are. At this point, the Add button allows you to add a new distribution to the library, and the Edit and Delete buttons allow you to edit or delete existing distributions in the library. Also, you can click this button to enter one of the library distributions in a selected cell. Alternatively, you can add a library distribution to a cell through the Library tab of the Define Distributions window. Any of these. The At-Risk Library also lets you store results of simulations. To do this, you run a simulation and then select Add Results to Library from the Library dropdown. You get this dialog box. You can click the Properties button to see properties of the library. Then you click the OK button to save the results in the library. Finally, at a later time, you or your colleagues can see the saved results by selecting Show At-Risk Library from the Library dropdown. Select the Results tab. Select one of the results and display it in some way. You and your colleagues don't even need access to the original simulation file to see this. All that you need is access to the library, that is, the SQL Server database.